All right,
Yeah.
so we about to go to this little rally, little police terror rally they having right across the street from our camp spot. It's O22. They doing rallies all over the country right now for this. But you know, specifically here in San Diego, it's been like 3 incidents with the police just within the last week. You had this past week. Okay.
They already getting
You
somebody.
had over the weekend, which you know was a friend of this brother was killed by a border patrol agent, his own girlfriend. And you had a brother that was gunned down downtown a couple days ago, and then also a sister that was brutalized by the police downtown. So you know, it's been a lot of incidences locally. You know what I'm saying? Especially so, tensions are kind of high. People is feeling some type of way. So we're gonna go over this rally, campaign a little bit, maybe pass out a few flyers, spread the truth through spirit, power of Yahweh, Shem Yahushua, of course. And you know, but people are waking up to what's going on. People are sick and tired of the oppression. You know, mostly us, because we the ones that's going through it. All right, when you take a look at all the people, or the majority of the people who have been brutalized, murdered by the Border Patrol or local law enforcement out here in the San Diego County area, it's always black and Hispanic, always. You know what I'm saying? Of course, just like it is everywhere else, you know, us being the Israelites is what we're going through. But we're about to walk up, so we'll get some footage and stuff from Shalom.
As of this week, 4 individuals have been killed by law enforcement in San Diego County.
4. I thought it was only 2.
Lamonte Jones, Rashawn Cole, and an individual we're going to call Jane Doe. His name has not been released yet, from what I understand. From Calexico, California, shot and killed Wednesday morning by customs enforcers.
Man, the customs be really killing people, bro. Thank you, sister.
Here to disclose the 2 officers involved. Officer Robert Stinson and Scott Thompson, who shot and killed Lamonte Jones earlier this week in downtown area. They didn't want to come clean, so we decided to be transparent for them. And didn't do a goddamn thing to stop us at all. María Pugas. Pues estamos aquí, ¿quién? Más que nosotros que hemos sentido carne propia.
All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly identifies as Jesus Christ. All right, it's Brother Alazar Ben Lawyer. You know, showed a little bit of that footage from this past Thursday's protest that they had in City Heights, San Diego. The people who hosted that protest were this group here, United Against Police Terror San Diego. So I just want to kind of, you know, speak about some stuff that went on at the protest and, you know, what fueled the protest. Some things that are going on. There's a lot of police terror that's taking place and police corruption and things of that nature. That's, you know, law enforcement, not just local PD, but all law enforcement, even to the federal level, corruption that's taking place currently in the San Diego area. Basically, and real quick about this, it's funny because we had cut out a little early, you know, before the protest was actually over. And while the protesters were still at the location, like they hadn't even done this part yet. Like we left before they did this. While the protesters were at the location, when we're headed out to leave, I had to get the bus stop right here, and I couldn't because, yeah, CHP or the SDPD had this whole freeway blocked off. And I guess they're trying to report that it was these menacing, pest-like protesters, you know what I'm saying, which the protesters were half a mile down the street, so that ain't make no sense. But basically, you know, it's a lot of stuff that's going on. I referenced it on the video we did walking up, basically, and then I learned once we got to the protest, there's actually been 4 police homicides, or law enforcement homicides, 2 by Border Patrol and 2 by local law enforcement that have taken place within the last week just here in San Diego County. So you know, it's a lot of stuff going on. The sister was brutalized downtown San Diego. Also, the devil is showing his horns and coming against the Israelites, God's chosen people, the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. I mean, as always, this is nothing new. Again, the devil is the devil, all right? And the devil is going to be the devil. every day, all the time. Same devil that, the conquistadors that conquered the Aztecs and, the Native Americans, with the pilgrims and all those various things. It's the same devil. Also, what y'all seen was a woman who was related to a so-called Mexican brother who would be a Hebrew Israelite tribe of Issachar, who was tasered and beaten to death 7 times at the border at San Isidro, where we actually had camp at a few weeks ago. Matter of fact, here this one, Revelation Jesus Christ, the U.S.-Mexico border. Of course, real name Yahushua, but yeah, we did it here at San Isidro, and they killed a little boy over there. They killed the Mexican lady. I mean, they've been killing a lot of our people over there, especially the border patrol. So those of us who live, near the border, in close proximity to the border, it's very important that we, get the message out there in regards to the behavior of the border patrol and how lawlessly and inhumanely they've been murdering our people. It all goes back to the Bible. It all goes back to the prophecies and the curses that the Most High God said would befall us as a people. Okay, so these are things that we need to keep in mind, especially our Hispanic brothers, so-called Mexican brothers who are Israelites. We go into the history, go into the prophecy, y'all fit the prophecies. That's, of course, if you're not come from the lineage of Spaniards, you come from the lineage of the indigenous Aztecs and things of that nature. But anyway, basically, because you got a lot of things like the deification of the white image of Christ Caesar Borgia, which is a false image, as well. And there's really no image we could put on divine beings like the Most High, like His only begotten Son, etc., etc. And even if you did an artist depiction, make sure it's accurate according to the Bible, and still do not look at it as an idol to bow down to, or think that he actually is, his spirit is resonating within that picture. It's just an image. Also, this Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, that's coming up, that I've been seeing the decorations and all that heavy out there. Mexicans are heavily into it, and we got to realize that the practice of these idolatrous, pagan, and heathen customs have a lot to do with why we're in this position right now. Okay, and we have to understand that. We have to bear witness to that. We have to turn from that, repent, and come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Heavenly Father, because the keeping of those is what's going to assist in the ushering in the implementation of our salvation. The return of who the world calls Christ, and the deliverance of the 144,000 and the 1/3 of the children of Israel. This is the brother who was beat down by the border patrol on so-called Christmas Eve, and his family was the ones that was out there speaking. You see the so-called Mexican sister, she was out there. She was really fired up, about this whole situation. And rightfully she should be. But also we have to think about it. A lot of people were emphasizing that what made this act even more heinous was the fact that it was committed on Christmas Eve. We must understand, y'all. We go in the Bible in Jeremiah the 10th chapter. It tells you Christmas is a wicked heathen custom, and that's something that we shouldn't follow. So a block away from our old spot downtown 5th and Broadway on F and 6th, this brother was murdered in front of a couple of popular nightclubs. You see what I'm saying? So, we have a lot of things that's going on here. But, I just want to bring this back, to the scriptures. All right, because it all goes back to the scriptures. The Most High God declared the end from the beginning. Okay, so we could always look to the scriptures to understand the landscape and the nature of the world that we live in today, no matter what time period we live in, because the scriptures are perpetually evident. All right, so you can understand. Well, let's go here to Lamentations 4:17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help, and our watching, we have watched for a nation that cannot save us. See, that's the problem with a lot of our people, and we saw this sentiment being uttered, throughout the protest. We're saying justice, no peace. We're demanding justice from such and such. I'm calling out this individual that's high-ranking member of the city and deals with the law enforcement. Listen, that's vain. That nation, those people, those same white people that enslaved us, stole our lands, and gave us their language and their religion and their customs and all that madness and their horrible food. Though that's who we're still dealing with. Why do we have any inclination in our mind that possibly they're going to have goodness in their heart and help us out? That's vain help. We're watching for a nation that cannot save us. The only person that can save us is the Most High God. And by pleasing Him and doing right by Him, He sends His Son to bring us salvation. We have to understand that. And we have to come out of the mind frame that this white man is going to start to give us justice after half a millennia of rape, robbery, and murder. All right, verse 18. They hunt our steps. We cannot go in our streets. In our own communities, we cannot go because our steps are being hunted by these law enforcement agents that want nothing more than to kill us. And some of these law enforcement agents are our own people. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Verse 19, our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of heaven. Why do you think this white man is constantly using the eagle to symbolize his endeavors? They pursued us, and they're predators. That's what eagles are known for, being predatory. And we are the prey of the predator, which is the white man. That's been clear since we came into contact with them 500 years ago. They pursued us on top of the mountains. They lay wait for us in the wilderness. Verse 20, the breath of our nostrils, the anointed of the Lord, was taken in their pits. We're the anointed of the Lord, of whom we said, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen. And that's where we live, and we amongst the heathen. That's why when you go to City Heights and these various other so-called black and Hispanic predominant neighborhoods, you also have to deal with white police. You have to deal with East Africans invading your neighborhood. You got to deal with Asians and Arabs invading your neighborhoods and, making money off of you by, establishing their various businesses and things of that nature, right? Verse 21, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. The daughter of Edom, we're the Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. The Edomites are the Caucasians, right? That dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass unto thee, thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked. So the Most High God is promising that all the things that befell us as a people is going to come back around and befall them. What goes around comes around. They are going to reap everything that they've sown and all the atrocities they committed against blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Okay, let's now go to the book of Zechariah 11:5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Who is that? That's us, the Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We're the ones constantly being killed by white folks with badges and even without badges, and they are getting off scot-free for our murders. All right? And they that sell them, they that had us in slavery, right, say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. So they are making a killing off of us. They have made a killing off of either cheap or free labor that they got from us, land they stole from us, etc., etc. And our own shepherds, our leaders, they don't pity us. Why? Because they are getting juiced in. They're getting their pockets lined by our oppressors and our possessors, all right? But there's a bright side to all of this, okay? According to biblical prophecy and promises endowed to us by the Most High, being that we are of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Let's go now, stay in the book of Zechariah, going to 10:5. And they shall be as mighty men. Who's going to be as mighty men? We, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We're going to be as mighty men. We're going to stop asking for justice, and we're going to do the or else part, all right? There's going to come a time, all right, when the Most High puts the Spirit and raises us up as a people, all right? So we shall be as mighty men, which tread down their enemies in the mire of the streets in battle, and they shall fight, because the Lord is with them, and the riders on horses shall be confounded. Those police officers, we know back in the day, and even certain police officers now ride on horses. Okay, but what we have to do is make that conscientious effort to wholeheartedly come back to and serve the Most High God. Acknowledge our identity as his people, the Israelites. All right? Then the Most High is going to do it all when he sends his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, a black revolutionary Messiah whose real name is Yahweh Shai, back to this earth. All right? These are things we must keep in mind, y'all. All right? Let's stay in the book of Zechariah. Let's go down to 9-13. When I have bent Judah for me. Judah represents the Negro tribe, so-called Negro tribe, the black, West Indian, and Haitian man, right? He bent Judah and filled the bow with Ephraim. Ephraim represents what we identify as the Northern Kingdom tribes, or the Latino and Native Indian tribes. So what's happened is we are drawing closer and closer to our reunification as a people, as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. What proved that was the Million Man March, all right? So we coming back together. All right, and we're going to be a weapon and a force to be reckoned with, and the Most High is going to raise us up against our enemies, the white man and all the rest of these people, okay? And raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece. Who is Greece? Greece are white people, right? And made thee as the sword of a mighty man. And I'm going to give y'all a little New Testament love to further substantiate and close out. This is 2 Thessalonians 1:6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. So God said it is righteous for you to pay people back who have given you and your people nothing but trouble for half a millennia in the form of the so-called white man. So if you think that things change with the coming of Christ and the New Testament and everything is all love and hugging, even in the New Testament, in the epistles, it's still talking about recompensing or paying back in full all of those that have troubled us as a people, because the Most High is going to require it, all right?